Imagine with me for a second. You're 8 years old and you just get home from school after a long day of thinking about what LEGO Star Wars minifigures you wish you had. Your mom hands you the brand new LEGO magazine she found in the mail, and you instantly flip to the LEGO Star Wars section, looking at all of the sets that you wish you had, but know you never will. Once you're done, you decide to turn on the TV. In between your favorite cartoons, you're hit with LEGO Star Wars ads that bring your favorite sets to life. You imagine reenacting those same scripted battle scenes out in your head while you go to sleep. This is the kind of memory that keeps me collecting LEGO Star Wars to this very day. Looking at some of the sets we have now in 2023, I often think what it would be like growing up in this Disney era. But I'm often faced with the reality that LEGO Star Wars is just different from what it was when it was just starting out. Here are 5 things that LEGO Star Wars sadly stopped doing. LEGO Star Wars used to give us banger advertisements. These golden age commercials usually revolved around a speed build of the set, showing off its play features, and then putting it up against its adversary that you could also find on shelves around the same time. My personal favorite years for these commercials were between 2005 and 2012, where they used simple backgrounds, bright colors, and the perfect mix of real play and animation. From 2005 and 2008, Star Wars wasn't putting out any new content, so LEGO had to get creative in the way they marketed their sets. This led to some pretty unrealistic battle scenes between a Y-Wing and a troop carrier, or even an AT-DP and a Hellfire droid in the desert. Kind of makes sense, but not really. I personally never saw a problem with this as a kid because if anything, I thought it was really cool LEGO was showing off their sets on my personal TV screen at home. Years after, we would continue to see fun commercials from time to time, but they focused heavy on animated play and realistic battle situations. Although still good, I personally think that the newer commercials have lost that original LEGO charm that made me want to build and set up a story with my sets as a kid. It really feels like with the influx of Disney Plus Star Wars shows coming out, they're using those to market their sets. And that ends up making the LEGO set feel more like a Star Wars toy than a LEGO toy, if that makes any sense. Now, I'm not saying that LEGO Star Wars doesn't have a creative license at all anymore, but I am saying that they did lean into it more in the past. Who remembers the LEGO Star Wars TIE Crawler? If you do, then I consider you an OG. This was one of the first instances where LEGO stepped out of bounds from the usual sets we were getting. Especially back in 2007 when the lore of Star Wars was not widely accessible, this set was super random. Never seen in a movie or TV show except for a picture in Legends, I believe. Regardless, they made it a set and put it on shelves. It still holds up to this day. Another instance of LEGO Star Wars using their creative license can be found in the Republic Cruiser, which is one of my favorite sets on display. When you look inside the interior, you can find the small glider that one of the pilots can sit on. As an adult looking at it, you can say that it's a really random addition to add, but to a kid, this is super fun and playable. I'm really glad they added it though, because it gives the set some of the classic LEGO charm, and because of that, makes a great display item. This is the perfect example of what I don't see LEGO Star Wars doing much in today's sets. I personally believe that this is due to the demand from the fans to make everything as accurate as possible. We can really see this done when it comes to the LEGO Star Wars minifigures. On top of what we the fans want, LEGO also has to listen to Disney as the main voice for what the set should be. Again, I am not saying that the new sets and minifigures provided by the Disney Star Wars era are bad or even worse than before, but what I am saying is without the LEGO charm added to these things, they start to feel more like a Star Wars action figure toy than a LEGO minifigure set. The last instance I remember LEGO going totally outside of the box was in 2018 when they released the Sand Speeder. I remember everyone thinking this was such a weird set, but now it's looked back fondly as a very unique choice for LEGO Star Wars. 2 words: alternate builds. LEGO, please bring these back. Whenever I go back and buy sets from my childhood, I always make sure to get them with the original instructions just because I like looking at the alternate builds at the back. On top of some great artwork that we'll talk about next, LEGO always gave their customers some great ideas to build with their new pieces. As you can see, these alternate builds didn't make much sense most of the time, but that's just another example of the classic charm LEGO Star Wars displayed. They even used to put these images on their boxes to market the sets. I remember walking down the toy aisles and thinking about all the different adventures I could have my figures participating in just because of these new alternate builds. I think this showed just how much emphasis LEGO Star Wars put on building the sets and creating stories with the pieces and figures included. On today's LEGO Star Wars packaging, we're only going to find pictures of the minifigures, the sets, and their play features. Again, I'm not saying this is bad, but I do miss getting to see what other builds the LEGO Star Wars designers could make using the pieces that I'm buying or as a kid getting as a gift. Plain and simply, LEGO Star Wars does not include the beautiful artwork that it used to in its sets. At this point, we all know that 18+ LEGO Star Wars sets come in all black boxes with a render of the LEGO set all over it. Thankfully, LEGO Star Wars still adds artwork on their playsets, but it's just not the same as the stuff we saw from 2005 to 2018. Don't get me wrong, box arts like this are still amazing to get and they look killer, but back when we could see different characters and designs on the top of the box every year, that was unbeatable. Once again, this helped give LEGO Star Wars its identity and produced some absolutely iconic artwork, such as 2005, 2011, and 2013. I also would like to say that using actual pictures of sets look way better than using digitally created ones. This also helps customers know exactly what they're getting with each build. I mean, just look at some of the horrible render jobs we've been getting on our new clone sets. I personally think where we see the biggest hit as fans is in the instructions. We used to be greeted with vibrant set art when beginning our build, but now we're just greeted with a white pamphlet and a render of the set on top. Similarly, when we're done building the set, we were able to go to the back of the instructions and look at cool artwork that someone actually created for the set. Sometimes as a kid, I even cut these out and used them as a poster. They were that good. In recent LEGO Star Wars sets, we've just been getting pictures of other sets on shelves and that's it. All very functional, but less fun. LEGO Star Wars has been doing a great job of giving the fans what they want in terms of characters and sets. But when it comes to promotionals like May 4th or putting random minifigures in sets, they've been lacking. It's crazy to actually think LEGO used to hide minifigures like a chrome C-3PO and chrome Vader in sets for fans to try and find. Imagine how fun that would be now. I understand that with how the resale market is, people would probably buy a lot of the sets just to find and sell the figure, but the thrill of the hunt was super fun when I was a kid. Even if LEGO didn't want to revisit the concept at all, they could at least throw us a bone and provide us a minifigure for May the 4th again. I personally was never able to get one of these rare minifigures on a May 4th purchase when I was a kid, but the stories of them are legendary. To be able to buy a set on some type of discount and also be able to get a brand new figure with it is amazing. Minifigures will always be an important staple to the LEGO brand, so to be able to get an exclusive LEGO Star Wars minifigure to a collection will always add so much depth to that display. Recently, I think LEGO Star Wars has been doing a great job in giving the fans what they want, which is why they've been attracting more Star Wars ones in addition to their average LEGO fans. If they can find a way to continue to do that, while also accessing their creative side and adding some of that LEGO charm we talked about earlier in this video, I think we'll be able to see one of the best LEGO Star Wars waves we've ever seen.